audience for screwing up yesterday's title.
See what I did there?
Yeah, you recorded that you should apologize to the audience for having accidentally screwed up the title of yesterday's video.
Yeah. So yesterday's video was really focused on new car pricing and what you should offer for a new car. And Ray and I will do a video in the near future about what the offer is you should make on a used car. We'll talk about the strategy behind that. But I think what we wanted to do today, Dad, is talk about how you actually can get access to dealer invoice pricing, because a lot of people in the comments asked us about that as well, which is, sure, offer 1 or 2 or 3 or 8% off MSRP. Got it. But how do we see how much the dealership actually paid for the vehicle? So I was thinking, could you talk to us a little bit about invoices that the dealerships pay, how dealerships buy their inventory, maybe even a brief mention of holdback, and maybe we'll talk about that in a future video. And then I'll even share my screen and show an example of getting invoice pricing online from a dealership that I was working a deal on. How's that sound?
Absolutely. It sounds like something I might have, I don't know, firsthand knowledge of.
You've done it once or twice.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, the idea of looking at a dealer invoice is like so, I don't know, like abstract, because I've never seen one except for when like I get the PDFs, and like I'm sure back in the day they probably like faxed them to you or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's if you don't know what you're looking at, well, then you don't know what you're looking at. But you can, I can help guide people as to what it is they should be looking for and looking at. And as far as ways to get invoices and invoice pricing, I've searched the internet, and it's more difficult today, believe it or not, than it was 15 years ago to find out what the actual dealer invoice was on a car. But there are some good sources out there. Edmunds has some information to give you some pricing guidelines that suggest what the possible invoice might be on a particular car. TrueCar, if you go to their website, and don't necessarily click all the way through that you want to get quotes, because if you click through that you want to get quotes, well, then you're about to be bombarded by, I don't know, 6, 7, maybe 8 different dealerships that are going to start emailing you and hounding you about, well, when can you come in? When would be a good time for you to take a look at this car? But if you don't get to that point, you can still get the information as to what transaction prices have been. And so you have some idea as to what's a fair amount to get off or an unfair amount to get off.
But part of the reason I like Edmunds, which they have, it's called True Market Value, I think is what it's called.
Something like that.
Yeah, TMV. If you Google search Edmunds TMV, and I'll link to it in the description below. The reason I like that one is the lead gen portion of it is at the very end. Like you don't have to click through, which I guess is similar to TrueCar. And then the other thing is with the Edmunds one, it shows you MSRP, kind of like the suggested price, which is like the TrueCar price of like, well, here's what we think it should be. But then it also has the estimate of what the dealer invoice price is. And I think, because we've talked about before with the downfall of relying solely on the TrueCar price is that it's in, the great deal that someone got was at that moment in time and was available in that moment in time because maybe it pushed the dealership over the edge for factory incentives and things like that. So it can be hard to really attach yourself to this concept that you're going to get that great deal every time. And whereas the Edmunds TMV, it's like, okay, it shows you what the estimated dealer invoice was, which I think is more accurate.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yes, that incredible deal that you always see listed on TrueCar is the one that might have happened on the last day of the month that was allowed a dealership to pick up an extra $100,000 or $150,000 in factory incentive money for having hit or surpassed their sales objective that was set by the manufacturer, and so they might have been willing to lose $2,000 or $3,000 to pick up that $100,000 or $150,000, and that's not always going to be the case. But let's get back to what the invoices are and how to get them. Honestly, I can tell you in all the years that I was in the business, that if I had a customer that came in and wanted to deal just directly with me as the sales manager, or even with the salesperson as their intermediary, if they said, listen, I want to make this as pain-free and easy and as transparent as we possibly can. Here's what I'd like to do, Mr. Sales Manager. I would like to pay you X amount of dollars over invoice. That X amount might be 200, 300, $500 over invoice, less any customer incentives that I qualify for and any other dealer incentives that we might be able to apply to lower the price. The only thing I ask in order to accomplish that is that you share the invoice with me of the car that I've selected to purchase.
Yep.
Can we do that? And as a sales manager, I would say, absolutely. I couldn't answer that question fast enough
Yeah.
because that just meant it was going to be easy. It was going to be easy for the customer. It was going to be easy for me. It was going to be easy for the salesperson. And so what I would do is actually I had an invoice book of every car that I had in inventory, and I could just by stock number go pull the invoice up
Yeah.
and walk it out to the customer and share it with them. And then when I stopped killing trees in Brazil, um, is by not printing up all these invoices and just having them sit in a book, I kept them online so that I could print them as I needed them.
Yeah.
And I would share with the customer what, and invoices typically show what the MSRP or retail side of it is and what the wholesale side of it is,
Yep.
what the dealer pays for it. And then there'll be other numbers on an invoice that might reflect what the holdback portion would be, which, like we've discussed, can be anywhere from 2.5, maybe 3% of what the MSRP is that the dealer will receive as a quarterly bonus for selling cars. And dealerships will oftentimes uh, cut into their holdback in
Yeah.
order to make car deals. And there could be other things like gas reimbursements and things like that. If I remember correctly, many years ago, I think it was $60 or $75 that was reimbursed on every Acura for the full tank of gas that we gave to the customer, so that Acura was actually paying for the full tank of gas.
Wow.
But that's actual, when you think about it, that's actual income. That's
Well, especially when gas prices were really low, you guys were probably had a nice margin there.
when gas prices were low, and then when gas prices were really high,
Yeah.
it wasn't quite enough.
Yeah.
So you take the good with the bad, and you just learn to live with it. So you can also remember the other day when we were talking about ordering cars. Well, every manufacturer has ordering guides, and the ordering guides, and you can look at them both just on the retail side or the MSRP side or the retail and wholesale side, and you can go through the ordering guide with the customer, showing them exactly what the markup is on every option that they choose, because
Really?
you can
Wow.
show them what the cost of that option was as opposed to what the suggested retail is on that. And you can build the whole car, and show what the wholesale pricing is. Now, there are certain things that might not be reflected in the invoice pricing or wholesale pricing when you do it that way. And one of those things might be dealer advertising associations, because many manufacturers have regionalized or localized advertising associations where all the like brands in that area agree to contribute X amount of dollars to go into a collective advertising pot so that they can do localized advertising for the dealer group. And that could be $100 or $200, $300 per car that gets added to the invoice. And the reason it gets added to the invoice is because the dealers are actually paying that, but it goes into a generalized fund for the regionalized marketing.
And those are when you see the commercials on TV, like, I'm here in Maryland, so it's like your Baltimore, Washington area Honda dealers. That's what you talk about. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So, that wouldn't necessarily be reflected in the order guide, but it's something that your local dealer can at least let you know, if they are a part of an ad association, how much they get charged per car. And they are legitimate costs. They do get charged per car because that money goes into a rather large pot to
Yeah.
create that localized advertising for the group.
But if I'm a customer, I don't really want to pay for that. Like you can.
Yeah, well, the dealer did, so you are. It's just a cost, and you're paying for it.
No. Trust me. I recognize it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
I know you're saying you don't want to have to be the one that pays for that. No, I get it.
It's like I don't even enjoy when I'm watching TV and I see those commercials come on, let alone do I want to be subsidizing them.
I understand.
So I
But
guess there are a variety of things that don't actually even show up on the dealer invoice. So this whole idea of, invoice plus 250, invoice plus 500 in terms of like, oh, I'm getting a good deal. You kind of are, but it's more of a sales tactic at this point than anything, right?
well, you are, as long as the dealership agrees to apply whatever customer or dealer incentives that might be available
Okay.
from that price that you've agreed upon. So, if it was, the invoice was 30,000 and you've agreed that you'll pay 250 over invoice, so you're at 30,250, but there's $2,500 in consumer or dealer incentives that can be applied to lower the price.
Yeah.
Well, then they'll take $2,500 off of the 30,250 to get you
Sure.
the ultimate selling price.
Yeah.
It's a fair way to do it. It's a way that recognizes that a dealer has to make a profit, because they need to be. It's a profit-making organization, and it cuts to the chase and cuts down the amount of time that's involved in, well, getting to the bottom line number that's a fair number for everybody involved.
Definitely. And I'll share my screen because I know I was talking to you, Dad. I was working a deal for one of our customers. I think, I'll hit share here. Hopefully there's not too much stuff on my screen. And I was working with the deal.
Don't share too much information.
I was working. I don't think there's anything bad here. You can see my.
Okay.
I'm working on a deal for a client for a Jaguar, and I just, and you can see these messages were from today,
Mm-hmm.
and here you go. The dealer's saying I'm essentially losing $1,800 to put the deal together. And I asked her to, I knew that we got a competitive price, but in my email before, I just asked. I said, can you send me over the invoice, so I can review that with the client to convey to them this offer that we have in front of us. And she's out of the office working. But I mean, you can see right here. So dealerships are willing to lose money to move units, and you can get a sense for that.
They're not. She's not necessarily losing money. She is essentially $1,800 below what the invoice amount is, but you don't know what all the factory to dealer incentives there might be on that particular car, and some of those incentives allow the dealer to lower the price of the car to where it looks like they're losing money, but they still might be making, I don't know, $500, maybe $1,000. Who knows? To me, it's probably a little early in the month for them to take an $1,800 loser to get to any sales objective. I could see somebody doing that maybe more towards the end of the month. But what she's telling you is essentially she's $1,800 below cost. She's not losing $1,800 at this point. She's essentially $1,800 below cost, and she's about to apply whatever incentive that they're getting from Jaguar to allow them to be able to be in that position and still actually be making some kind of small profit.
This is what I love about you. This is
it. This is it. This is all you love about me after all these years. Oh my God.
That's it. That's a wrap. This is what I love.
Okay.
No, look at me. I mean, I negotiate deals for our customers, and I'm still learning stuff every single day from you, because you're right. They're not losing $1,800. There's all sorts of incentives on the back end that I'm not fully aware of, but it is a great kind of marketing or sales tactic for her to say, yeah, of course, I'm $1,800 below cost, which builds confidence on our end. Look, I was just feeling overly confident. I think that's this expertise that you bring to the table, is to kind of be pragmatic about it.
Yeah, and really where she is might represent a really, really, really aggressive deal for the vehicle that she's selling and for the amount of those vehicles that might be out there that fit the color combination that your client wants.
Yeah.
So it really could be just a phenomenal deal
Yeah.
for your client.
Well, and the thing is, I have quotes from another dealership nearby, and they're not even close to that. And I disclosed
Okay.
this deal to them, and they were like, "How the hell are they losing that much money?" So I feel confident, but regardless, I think the point I'm trying to make is you can ask. But even if you're asking for invoice or where you are relative to invoice, it's still not necessarily going to be, like you said, indicative of the true situation.
Indicative of the real cost.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I think, I mean, I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of our audience. I think we need to do some more content around used cars, because on the new car side, it seems not easy, but relatively straightforward how to approach these challenges. On the used car side, and we do it for our customers, it is trickier, it is harder. So we'll have to come up with some more content around there. Well, I guess leave a comment down below if that's what you're interested in, is about used cars, certified pre-owned, how to make offers, pricing, etc.
Yeah. No, we can tackle that on another day. Absolutely.
So one thing I wanted to just note right before you hit us with your classic outro is my dad, when he first retired, he had a friend from the car dealership that he worked at that like had a screen printer. I don't know, and like
But that's embroidery. That's not
embroidery. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. This is high quality stuff.
And so my dad like retired from the car business, and then I made a logo with our last name on it, and now the whole family has Team Shepska gear. And I just noticed that you're wearing your Team Shepska pullover, and I'm wearing my Team Shepska pullover.
Well, and just a quick story. The story behind that Team Shefska uh, top is that was to commemorate a trip that you and I and your sister took to San Francisco to go watch our beloved Arizona Cardinals play the San Francisco 49ers at Levi Stadium in October of 2017, I think
Yeah,
it was,
17, I think. Yeah.
which is why it says San Francisco on there, because I just thought it would be nice to have something that we could look at and always bring back the memories of us sitting first row in the end zone. The person sitting next to me was, I don't know, the cameraman. Okay, so we were as close as you could get, and I remember that day Laura Oakman walking by,
Yeah.
and you stopping her in her tracks by calling out, "Laura, I love you,"
Which is the truth.
and she stopped and she chatted with us 2 or 3 times, and we just had a really great trip. And well, what made the game even better was the Cardinals actually won that
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
which is one of only one or two that you and I have ever seen when
Yeah.
we've gone to their road games that they've actually won.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I just thought it was funny that we were both wearing our Team Chefska gear today. So we'll have to see. If people down below, if you're interested in a Team
Yeah.
Chefska pullover, maybe we'll do a contest or something like that. Send
Yeah.
someone a free Team Chefska pullover.
Or maybe a Team Your Auto Advocate.
Yeah, but I feel like Team Chefska just has more of a ring to it.
It does. It could be Team Chefska's Your Auto Advocate.
Then we just put your face on it. All right, we need the outro. Hit it with the outro, please.
Folks, we're done. We'll see you again tomorrow, I promise.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're doing tomorrow. I'll see you then.
Okay, I'm in.
Ah!
Stop recording.